Valve has delayed the Steam Machine lineup, not just the Steam Machine, but the controller and VR along with it, saying a global RAM supply crunch is forcing the company to revisit both shipping schedules and pricing for the Steam Machine, Steam Frame, and the new Steam controller. And initially, I saw this from The Verge, which was reporting on the official post on Steam, where they had a community update saying Steam hardware launch timing and other facts, answering some of your most asked questions about the Steam hardware. We started the Steam hardware blog as a way to specifically address topics surrounding Steam hardware and wanted to start by tackling some of the most frequently asked questions we've received since announcing these 3 new products on November 12th: Steam controller, Steam machine, Steam frame. Before we dive in, how much? Spoiler, they don't talk about the price. Before we dive into some of the hardware specific questions we've seen, we want to get straight to the 2 we know everyone is wondering about the most. When will these be launching and how much will they cost? When we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now. You know what I love about this? This is all I ask for from any major company: Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, anyone. Just talk to us like we're people. Be honest, transparent. Say, hey, we wanted to give you the prices by now, but have you seen what's going on out there? But the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. The limited availability and growing prices of these critical components mean we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around the Steam machine and Steam frame. Now, for me in particular, I am very interested in the Steam frame. I'm always been on the I love VR train. I really want there to be a VR that just works, like just functionally. It's not this massive clunky headset where you have cameras set up in the room and all. I just want to put something on and have it work. And oh, by the way, also affordable, because I know Apple tried their thing and it was like $4,000, and I'm like, bro, like, can we get something that's affordable and isn't £1,000,000? Our goal of shipping all 3 products in the first half of the year has not changed, but we have work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce, being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both of those things can change. We will keep you updated as much as we can as we finalize those plans as soon as possible. Now, what's wild to me is you would think at this juncture in time, they would already have the contract set up with manufacturers to build the equipment, so they would know what the price would be, at least for the first round of the machines being made. Now, could theoretically get more expensive down the road? Of course, that's what we see happening across the board in the industry right now. But maybe Steam is looking at this like, hey, why don't we already know what it's going to cost for what we already paid for and what we have being made right now. Let's wait until we have more clarity for the second round of these before we announce a price, so that we don't have to raise the price like everyone else is doing. Maybe they're just going to go in with a little bit of a higher price and average it between the 2. In the meantime, we plan to use this blog to deliver additional content, from deep dives into specific features, video and blog form, to updates and what's new write-ups. In this first go around, we thought it would be helpful to answer some of the most asked about topics surrounding the new hardware: Steam Frame and VR. Will Steam Frame support other streaming services? Steam OS has a built-in browser, and we expect streaming services to work in a theatrical browser mode. Like, that is one of the major, yes, games are super exciting, but if you can get a theater mode for like Netflix and movies and stuff, that would be awesome. How can I request a Steam Frame developer kit? Steamworks developers can submit a request for a Steam Frame dev kit at the partner site here. Supplies are limited, but we are sending out kits on an ongoing basis. Will Steam Frame work with Lighthouse base stations? It's not something we're working on, but we built Steam Frame to modular and extensible so that the community and third parties can build out the features and accessories that are important to them. Can Steam Frame be used while wearing glasses? A bunch of people on the team wear glasses and Steam Frame without issue, but it really depends on the width of the glass frames. And while we don't have the details to share yet, we are looking into making prescription lenses inserts available ahead of launch. I heard the Steam Frame has foveated streaming. Is that the same thing as foveated rendering? What games will it support? With Steam Frame, we are introducing a new feature called foveated streaming. While both use eye tracking data, the technology is different. Foveated rendering uses eye tracking data, so the game only renders high resolution data in the portion of the viewport that the player is looking at. Foveated streaming, on the other hand, uses eye tracking data so that the PC only streams high resolution data in the portion of the viewport the player is looking at. Since foveated streaming is a system level feature, it applies to all games and requires no game developer work. If a game implements foveated rendering, the benefit of that feature will stack with foveated streaming. And in fact, you could argue if that works as well as advertised, it would be able to make a game run so much better because it's only focusing on the particular pixels that you're looking at the time. And as fast as your eyes move around, it will render to correlate to that. But it's not rendering the entire screen all at once. That is the future. Amazing workaround. Will Valve Index have ongoing product support? While we're no longer making Valve Index, we do intend to support Index owners the same way we have in the past on an ongoing basis. Steam Machine. How well can Steam Machine play newer, more demanding games on Steam? In our testing, the majority of Steam titles play great at 4K 60 frames with FSR on Steam Machine. That's impressive. That said, there are some titles that currently require more upscaling than others, and it may be preferable to play at a lower frame rate with VRR to maintain 1080p internal resolution. In the meantime, we are working on an HDMI VRR, investigating improved upscaling and optimizing ray tracing performance in the driver. So we are approaching this from multiple angles. My goodness. It's almost like there are people on this planet that just really, when it comes down to it, just really care about the games and just making them work amazingly. I almost feel like outside of Nintendo, and even that's questionable these days, that's been forgotten. It's been DEI pushing, agenda pushing, ideology pushing. They forgot about the gaming console and making it amazing. Will third parties be able to make faceplates for Steam Machine? You mean the Gabe Cube? Will you be making the CAD for those faceplates available? Yes, we plan to share faceplate CAD specs and details in coming months for customers and manufacturers to make their own. That's going to be amazing. How many people are going to get Gabe's face just as the plates around it? What components of Steam Machine are upgradable? Steam's Machine's SSD, NVMe 2230 and 2280, and memory DDR5 sodiums are both accessible and upgradable. Can I play non-Steam games with the Steam controller? The controller can work with any game compatible with the Steam overlay. More to come. Keep following the Steam hardware blog and stay up to date and all the other stuff. So that's the situation with Steam right now. And the greatest concern that people have coming out of this is not just how much the Steam Machine is going to cost, but to me, especially the Steam Frame. Very curious on if that's going to be one of those. It looks cool, but it pulls an Apple and comes out at like $2,500 or more. Be like, bro, I liked it, but I don't like it at $2,500 price. I'm very curious to see what it ends up doing. This is Tom Henderson saying Valve reassessing Steam Machine pricing due to memory and storage shortages. We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close. Here's the thing. When it comes to the Steam Machine, if it is going to work as well as they're claiming it is, I think people should expect to be paying around at least bare minimum $700 to $800 for it. I think the problem comes in when it starts going to, oh, it's actually $1,000. At that point, then you're going to have a real question of, well, I do already have a Steam library, or I do plan on getting Steam because the games go on sale. It's cheaper overall. But that is a massive leap to go from a Switch 2 or a PS5 to $1,000 or more, theoretically. So I am curious to see what comes from this. This is the Insider Gaming article going over everything I just talked about with the blog post. But I do wonder. I do wonder. So I guess I'll leave it at this. Is this something you're interested in? Is it going to be a price-based thing? Like no matter what you're getting it, or if it's over a certain amount by $1, you're just like, you're out. I do wonder. I like to think that Steam does care about the community and what they're doing, but at the same time, they're not making this console or even the VR glasses to try to create a new market. They're just addressing their existing market with some new features of, hey, you want a different place to play these games? We'll make something for that. So it's not like an aggressive, we have to do this perfectly and find the perfect price for it. And with that in mind, it could start spiraling a little bit. So I do wonder. But let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to see what you guys think about this. But for now, I'll leave that there.